No, look, there's I always say I respect Terence Crawford. He's a very talented
Yeah.
fighter, but he just win uh, one big fight. If you see his record, he just beat one good fighter like Errol Spence is.
Yes.
But other than that, I don't think he's beating other great fighter like Spence. He did a really good job with the Spence. He did like almost look very easy.
But I'm gonna go with Canelo because he didn't hold Turkey's hand.
It's two things that you can do with somebody bigger and stronger. You know, you can either try to push them back, you know, because 9 times out of 10, a strong fighter not used to going back.
Canelo Alvarez reacts to Terence Crawford's knockout streak with respect for his talent. He admits Crawford looked outstanding against Errol Spence, even making the win seem easier than expected. Still, Canelo points out that Spence is really the only major name Crawford has beaten, raising questions about the rest of his resume. Looking ahead, he says the truth will be revealed when they finally meet in the ring, keeping fans eager for the showdown. Asterisk.
Are you tired of people asking you about Terence yet?
No, look, there's I always say I respect Terence Crawford. He's a very talented fighter, but he just win one big fight. If you see his record, he just beat one good fighter like Errol Spence is.
Yes.
But other than that, I don't think he's beating other great fighter like Spence. He did a really good job with the Spence. He did like almost look very easy but I knew Terence Crawford is a great fighter. But you never know in boxing. We'll see.
Asterisk. Canelo hints that he already understands Crawford's style and techniques, showing confidence in his preparation. With a smile, he adds that Turkey Alaushik will not be happy on fight night since he will be in Crawford's corner. This little detail, according to Canelo, makes the clash even more personal and intense. Asterisk.
Now you're gonna be able to do about it come fight night.
I know Turkey's in your corner,
I promise you.
But look, it's gonna be very difficult. He's gonna be so mad that day. Believe me.
I see you. I see you. You see I'm different.
I see you too.
Asterisk. Canelo's move to bring in Jaren Ennis for sparring is being praised as a smart decision. Johnny Ortiz explains that Ennis is the closest match to Crawford's frame and fighting approach, making him an ideal training partner. This allows Canelo to study Crawford's rhythm and movement in real time while sharpening his own timing and defense. At the same time, Ennis gains valuable experience training with a seasoned champion. Ortiz sees this as a win-win situation that makes Canelo's camp very strategic. Asterisk.
It makes sense, and it's definitely a good experience for both. Eddie Reynoso and Canelo, shout out to them because now it shows that they serious with a real game plan, and Boots is, to me, everybody's a perfect opponent. I wouldn't say opponent, perfect sparring partner to have to replicate Crawford because they both switch hitters and stuff like that, and they got dog in them and reflexes for sure. So it shows Canelo serious, and on Boots end, to be able to spar a Hall of Famer, top tier guy, it gave him great experience, and you could tell he really wants it. It's a sport where Boots is getting an opportunity to spar a Hall of Famer. Who cares? And in reality, what the fuck loyalty does Boots owe to Crawford when it comes to the sport of boxing? I mean, Crawford didn't do shit even back while Boots was trying to get his opportunity when it was Spence and Crawford. Every time Boots' name got mentioned, you heard the Bud Clowns be like, oh yeah, he don't deserve it. Oh, who did he fight? Oh, who this and that, man. I ain't trying to hear that shit. It's like it's different shit that you need to be woke up outside of boxing. Boxing is a sport. There's shit that we need to really come together. I didn't see y'all come together like 5 years. The Bud Clowns, because it's real fans, the Bud Clowns is bashing PBC. Everything Boots, when you bring up Boots' name, putting him down, I didn't hear like, oh yeah, instead of fighting Canelo or fighting this person, he should fight Boots.
Asterisk. Jose Benavidez highlights the importance of Canelo's choice to spar with Jaren Boots Ennis. He says Ennis mirrors Crawford in key areas like body type, movement, and style. Training with someone so similar helps Canelo mentally prepare for the challenge ahead. Benavidez also points out that Crawford's smaller size compared to Canelo could be a factor on fight night. By sparring with a strong and stylistically comparable partner, Canelo not only builds confidence, but also starts to believe he has the upper hand before the fight even begins.
To give Canelo maybe a little bit more confidence that he is sparring somebody really good, and is a really good fighter, and I think that would be a good motivation, for Canelo Alvarez. I just think that Crawford is too small for Canelo. I think Canelo's too big for Crawford. But in my opinion, I think if Crawford could maybe just tap, get out, tap, hook, get out, maybe once in a while throw a straight punch and just win by points and use his legs, I think I see him winning by decision. But if he tries to exchange with Canelo Alvarez, I think he's going to make a mistake and he's going to get hit with one shot and maybe he can get hurt. And that would change the whole fight, But I think he's faster. Crawford is faster, and a straight punch, get out, Don't stay there to throw or try to trade with Canelo Alvarez.
Okay, fair to say. Fair to say. Now, do you feel like when it comes down to the demeanor of making that decision of bringing him in, does it show that he's taking this camp perhaps a little bit more serious than others? I mean, what do you think about just the move per se?
It's very difficult to say. He's never brought anybody really good to his camp until this time. Maybe he's lacking enough of confidence, or maybe he just wants to use them to trick the people. Or, it's very awkward and very funny that he brought Ennis to his camp. So, but at the end of the day, they know what they're doing, and we got to respect that. And I think
Boxing's global demand has entered a new era where streaming platforms dominate. The Netflix fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson drew an incredible 65 million viewers, becoming the most watched event in boxing history. That spectacle proved combat sports can attract audiences far beyond traditional expectations. Now, the upcoming Canelo vs. Crawford clash carries the potential to surpass that record. This is more than a fight, it's a worldwide moment that could rewrite the standards for boxing viewership.
Like Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, which was obviously on Netflix as well, the biggest concurrent view was, I think, 65 million. So at one stage of a time, 65 million people were watching that fight, which is crazy, hence why it broke Netflix servers. I do wonder what this does. I think it does around 10 to 15, which is still an incredible number. The problem with these two, and I was saying this morning actually to Gareth A. Davis, like, there's no antagonizer here, is there? No one is willing to play the role of the bad guy, the heel, the bully. And you almost need that a little bit. Like Jake Paul was actually quite smart in the way in which he promoted the Tyson fight. Obviously, look, it's Mike Tyson. But it was promoted so well where Jake was willing to be the guy that, I'm going to fuck up the greatest fighter of all time. He was willing to kind of say all those things and play that role. So people almost tuned in to see him get chinned as well. Neither of these guys are playing that role. Neither of these guys, I don't think, have crossed over massively to non-boxing fans. I mean, to us, they're like gods. But to non-boxing fans, I do wonder how much people know them.
Terence Crawford has never been one to avoid challenges, and his training for Canelo shows his careful planning. He admits fighting bigger opponents is tough, but says there are clear strategies to deal with them. One key method is to push them backward, something larger fighters dislike because they're used to being the ones controlling the pace and pressure. Forcing them on the back foot disrupts their rhythm. The second tactic is to tire them out and take advantage of their slower feet, a weakness common in naturally heavier boxers. Crawford's awareness of these methods shows his high boxing IQ. He knows winning is not just about toughness, it's about turning disadvantage into weapons. His camp is focused on conditioning and tactical precision to face the toughest test of his career.
It's two things that you can do with somebody bigger and stronger. You can either try to push them back, because 9 times out of 10, a strong fighter not used to going back, so it kind of fucks them up in the head, you know?
Yeah.
Or you can just box them because some of them just slower than others because they got flat feet, and they just looking to load up on certain shots.
Now, Crawford's definitely right here. There's two ways to beat a pressure fighter like Canelo. Either you put the pressure back on him, which is where guys like Triple G and Bivol had success, or you use your superior skills and footwork on the outside, which is how Floyd Mayweather won. Now, Crawford, he can't use the pressure approach because he's not as physically dominant as guys like Golovkin or Bivol. You know, Bud is a welterweight or junior middleweight jumping up. He doesn't have the size to push Canelo back. Now, the outside boxing approach, that is definitely Crawford's best chance against Canelo.
Despite the rivalry, Crawford has shown great respect for Canelo's place in boxing history. He calls Canelo one of the last links to a golden generation of fighters. Canelo shared the ring with legends, something Crawford views as rare. For Crawford, this fight isn't only about belts or records, it's about measuring himself against a fighter who has carried the sport for years. This respect adds another layer to the storyline.
Canelo does struggle to cut off the ring at times. We saw that in the Skull fight. And he does load up on single shots now. But at the same time, Crawford is not the same pure boxer that Floyd Mayweather was. You know, Mayweather rarely got hit in that shell. And his form of countering, you know, a pull counter, for example, was, I'm not going to get touched and then I'll make you pay. Whereas Crawford's style of counterpunching is different. Bud will take one to throw 2 or 3 back. And he can't do that against Canelo because of the size and power difference. If Bud takes a clean right hand to throw back an uppercut or a hook, he's either going to get dropped or he's going to end up on his bike like Jermell Charlo. So while I do agree Crawford does have the superior skill set in this fight, but because he doesn't have the size to push Canelo back, or the defense of someone like Mayweather stay perfect for 12 rounds on the outside, I do think Canelo's size and power will make the difference in this fight. And that's why I like Canelo to win.
Sean Porter offers a different take, saying Canelo will not show Crawford anything he hasn't already dealt with. Porter explains that Crawford has fought every style speedy boxers, power punchers, counter punchers, and bigger men. This adaptability, Porter argues, is what makes Crawford so dangerous. His belief is that Crawford's all-around skills will hold up even against a bigger, stronger Canelo. For fans, this opinion balances the debate and deepens the discussion.